In this lesson, we will look at leadership traits through the lens of the Big Five or Ocean model, which you'll have learnt about in the Know Your People course. Just to recap, traits are specific qualities that the individual has, and as you put them together, you start to understand the individual's personality. So we're going to look at these sort of Big Five traits and how they relate to leadership, and whether it's possible to understand a leader's personality. What we're seeing today is a rise in interest in the idea of the introverted leader, and Susan Cain's book Quiet is a good examination of this. And this is perhaps because we're seeing that sort of the dominant attention on leadership has moved away from Wall Street and the alpha male and the greed is good types that we saw in the 1980s towards to the Silicon Valley more cerebral leadership styles. So rather than just assume that extroversion in itself is the most dominant quality of leadership and all leaders should be extrovert, we actually should look at some of the other parts of the Big Five model and look at how each of these traits have identifications with good forms of leadership. Agreeableness. There's the idea that if you're agreeable, you might be a socially connected hub, the kind of person, because of you're friendly and courteous, that other people want to talk to and want to spend time with. Such a person might have high emotional intelligence and high social intelligence and even high cultural intelligence. And there's the idea that someone who is in the middle of this kind of interconnective interpersonal hub is likely to be a good leader. Then there is conscientiousness. Now, this is characterized by dependability, the idea that someone who has high levels of conscientiousness will be loyal and committed to the organization, and integrity, that they are trustworthy and they have a strong sense of ethics. Again, the idea that someone who is going to sit and do the work and be loyal and committed and be trustworthy is a set of ideas that are becoming more and more associated with what will make a good leader. And there's also openness to experience. Now, this is characterized by flexibility, the willingness and the desire to adapt to change. And intelligences or different ways of thinking. Now, traditionally, we've sort of looked at IQ as being the dominant form of intelligence, but someone who's open to experience might be able to have all kinds of different thinking. They might be able to think critically, they might be able to think creatively, they might have cognitive flexibility, the ability to see a problem from multiple different perspectives. They might have all kinds of different reasoning skills, abductive and deductive and synthetic, and they might be good at systems thinking. Finally, someone who's open to experience has an internal locus of control. They see themselves as masters of their own fate, that they can adapt themselves to the environment and make sure that they succeed no matter what environment they're facing.